Welcome to the kids' books, How to Get to the Moon and Back in 8 Easy Steps. Now, there are going to be some cool videos and stuff, so pay attention, my friends. And here we go. First, you got to build the Saturn V launch vehicle. The Saturn V was so huge that a person standing beside it could be hardly seen. The first stage alone made 7,600,000 pounds of thrust. The second stage was 1,100,000 pounds of thrust. And the third stage made 200,000 pounds of thrust from their rocket engines, their liquid-fueled rocket engines. That's 8,900,000 pounds of thrust altogether. Yeah, 8.9 million pounds of thrust just to get to the moon. Okay, so step one, launch your Saturn V rocket. This is launch pad 39 in Florida. Step two, put your Saturn V rocket into what is that? What is he? He's kind of like parking and he's kind of circling around. What is circling around and parking? A parking orbit. What the heck is a parking orbit? Well, first of all, you have to get just the right moment around the Earth before you can go to the moon. That's step three. It's called translunar injection. And you see that red box there? You have to hit just the exact spot in order to get to the moon. So you might have to orbit the Earth one or two times, maybe even three times. Because if you don't hit that spot, you don't make it to the moon. It's very critical. As a matter of fact, I don't know why they call this injection. Why not call it the journey to the moon, right? But why have it simple when you can have it complicated? So it's called translunar injection. And this is why Werner von Braun learned math, because of this kind of stuff. He only learned math, and he was terrible in math in school. But if he wanted to build rockets, he had to learn math. So that's kind of a side story about Werner there. So step four is transposition and docking. On the way to the moon, it takes 3 days to get to the moon. Okay, don't forget that. 3 days. So this is the third stage now. And inside of this third stage is the Lunar Explorer. And right here in the front, you see the command and service module. So the little triangular one on the end there, that's the command module. That's where the astronauts are actually sitting. The one with the jets on it right behind it is the command module. You put them together and you have the command and service module. Now, it's funny because they have to explode this thing open with explosive bolts, and then you have to turn around and go pull the Lunar Module Explorer out of it. And that's called transposition and docking. Okay, this is all done on the way to the moon, which takes 3 days. Now, once you're near the moon, you got to have it. What is it called? Lunar orbit insertion, because you can't just go to the moon, right? You have to get inserted to the moon. So it's called lunar orbit insertion. Now, in this phase, what you do is you put your combined command and service module stuck together with your Lunar Module Explorer, and you orbit the moon. You orbit the moon at around 70 miles high from the moon, of course. Then what you do is what's called powered descent. So at this stage, the astronauts are crawling now from the command and service module to the lunar module, okay? Now they've crawled inside of it. One of them stays in the command and service module. In Apollo 11, that was Michael Collins. And you can't see it, but there's a window here too. So Now these guys take off from the command and service module, which stays in orbit around the moon. They fire the engine to slow it down. So you got to imagine they're both circling around the moon. If you slow down the orbit, you will descend because it's the speed and the centripetal force that keeps you up in the orbit. Okay, very simply said. So you have to fire your engine to slow your orbit down, which makes you go lower towards the moon. And this is called the lunar module in orbit. And then it's about 70,000 feet. So the CSM was, what was that? 7 miles? 70 miles. Now we're going down to 40, 50,000 feet. Okay, that's the blue line. Now, again, we fire the engines to slow down the lunar module and make it descend. Okay, 50,000 feet. Once you get close, this is what happens.
I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Pretty cool, huh? So they landed on the moon. There's a video for that in the book too, which I'm going to show you. And other than that, the video was kind of boring. There is Neil Armstrong getting off of the moon right before he stepped onto it.
Surface is fine and powdery. I can
You can
pick
see
it up loosely with my toe.
Buzz Aldrin's reflection.
Adhered in fine layers, like
Okay, you can watch that on YouTube if you want. And I'm going to give you the links at the end of this presentation. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. The famous words. On the lunar surface. Next was Buzz Aldrin, the second man to ever stand on the moon. And of course, who took this picture? Neil Armstrong. And as a matter of fact, you can see Neil Armstrong in Buzz Aldrin's visor, right there. In order to learn to fly the lunar module, they had this funky contraption on Earth which was powered by a jet engine. This crashed over 11 times, and the astronauts said if it wasn't for this contraption, they would not have been able to land the lunar module. It really simulated the lunar module's characteristics very well. Here's just a cool GIF of, looks like Buzz Aldrin on the moon. Now, once you're on the moon, you got to do all sorts of stuff. Let's see. Here we go again.
You had a good picture, huh? There's a great deal of contrast in it, and adequate to get back
This
up.
is a pretty bad recording. I'm going to fast forward through that. Once they were on the moon, they put a bunch of scientific stuff there. And this is really cool because you can still see this reflector today. It's still used. It's not this little thing, this solar powered thing. This is a seismic sensor, a Richter scale, basically. And back there behind it, though, that's a reflector which scientists are still bouncing laser beams off today to measure the distance to the Earth. So if you have any friends that think we've never been to the moon, then just ask them to go to their friendly neighborhood astronomer and go check it out. You can still see this today. There's the famous footprint. Either Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin made that. And Buzz Aldrin salutes the flag. Now, on the moon, gravity is only 1/6 that of Earth's. So something like 0.6 or 1. So check it out. There's a stick in this flag to make it stand up like that. Okay, how do we get off the moon now? This is really tricky. The lunar module takes off. So as you can see, it's a rocket in a rocket, right? It's two stages. And the lunar module descent stage stays on the moon forever. And then you have to take off in this little lunar module ascent stage, which also has a liquid powered rocket in it that flies up to orbit to the CSM. Now, this stage stays on there forever. You can also see this from Earth with a high powered telescope. So, again, if you have any friends that don't think we've ever been to the moon, just ask them to take a look in the telescope. Here's an actual video of it.
Yeah, I'm going to get the pro. 99, proceeded, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston. Vets are good. Ag thought. Pitch over.
Isn't that crazy? That is just so crazy. So, once you get off the moon, you'd go dock with the CSM, and then they eject also that. It crashes back to the moon and stays on the moon forever. Then, number 3, they fly back to Earth. The command module flies back to Earth and then discards the service module, which probably either flies out in space forever or it burns up, re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Now the command module re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. I do believe the heat shield, which you see glowing red hot here, reaches 3,700 degrees Fahrenheit. 3 parachutes are used. This is for redundancy. You only need 2 parachutes, but 3 for sure. When you're done, you should have a parade because you're a hero. Here you see Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and Michael Collins in this car. Wow, it's an old Edsel or something. All right, my friends, that's how you get to the moon and back. I hope you liked it. Go get the book on Amazon. Here's a handy dandy link for you. Just type it in your browser right now, genie.us/Apollo11, and it will take you straight to the book. Or just go to Amazon and search for it. And it's got way more than I just showed you. I just showed you one chapter from the book. Okay, this book has everything from astronaut suits, this cool maneuvering unit, the manned maneuvering unit, MME, gravity training. It's got the whole thing from A to Z, training to become an astronaut, going to the moon, and some really cool stuff in it. All right, my friends, take it easy, and I look forward to seeing you at the top.